But bro, one thing that I always am interested when it comes to people who have a story like yours, right? Because a lot of times, anytime when it comes to this Christian walk period, oftentimes people feel like they may not have a story, right? We've definitely felt that or heard that, and so it's you weren't gang banging, you weren't doing all this crazy stuff or whatever, right? You didn't almost lose your life or whatever, or maybe you did, I don't know, but when people tend to have that kind of a feel, they tend to feel like, okay, since I don't really have the crazy stuff, I don't really even have a testimony, and I really don't have a way to relate with somebody who has gone through something like that. What has that been for you to be able to still not just to minister to people in church, right? That's a different conversation, but like to actually wholeheartedly being able to share the gospel with somebody who has a story unlike your own and you've not had any experience. What are some ways that you've kind of worked through that process to share the gospel to them?
Yeah, that's a great question because I've been there, being uh, not having that crazy testimony. That's a real temptation to be like, oh, I shouldn't talk about my testimony as much because I didn't do crazy things. But yo, that's your testimony. Your testimony is you grabbed a hold of who God was at a young age, and God blessed you with that. And He walked you with that at a young age. That's a testimony. I
Yeah.
think like when we think about like when people think, okay, what is a testimony? People just seem to go take it all the way back to, oh, just ton of evil things happen in someone's life. They almost lose their life, like a movie scene. But no, a testimony is the good news of what God has done in your life.
Amen.
And how dare we try to measure what is a good testimony, what is a bad testimony? The testimony is Jesus came to a broken people, someone who's gang banging in the streets. They need Jesus. A lonely 13-year-old pastor's kid that goes to youth group and is struggling with anxiety needs Jesus.
Amen.
A young man who decides not to fall into drugs and alcohol and sex and has that difficulty of learning how to be pure at 16, 17, they need Jesus. So I
Yeah.
think we get so caught up in, oh, we want a cool story. But we got to remember, testimony isn't about us. It's about giving God glory. You know what I mean? So that's my encouragement to young people, where it's like, yo, your testimony does not have to be your dad's testimony. Your testimony doesn't have
Mm.
to be what your mom went through. Like, don't don't fall into sin or do what the world does because you want a better testimony. Like, that's just the devil trying to get you to do what he wants you to do. Because
Yeah.
it's never too late to grab a hold of God.